Are you listening? This ain't no quiet thing. We're screaming out our lungs. Hey, are you listening? Hey, are you there? Hey, are you listening? Or do you just not care?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hey, Are You Listening? This is a podcast exploring the past, present, and future of Christian music. My name is Joel. I'm here with my good friend Brandon, and we connected over a mutual love of some certain artists, but also have pretty different tastes, which shows itself sometimes on the show. But we get to experience new stuff from each other, and sometimes we get to invite some friends along for the ride. Brandon, how's it going today?
Oh, it's going wonderfully.
Awesome. Tell me more about that.
It's winter, so I guess it's going wonderfully.
You're loving the cold weather.
As far as I can tell, it's going right now as we begin the new year.
Well, that's great. I'm so thankful that things for you are wonderful and that the cold is something that you're digging into. So I love it. So we do have a guest with us today. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But before we kind of get into that, I thought maybe we could just go ahead and talk about what we've been listening to lately. So what have you been listening to lately, Brandon?
I think that the beginning of the year, it's always there's a mixture of getting stuff that you get for Christmas and diving into it. So it's stuff that you love that maybe you have on vinyl now, or, you know, a physical CD or something. Because that's usually when I just wait. I'll find something I love and then I'll tell my mom, like, well, hey, if you're looking to get me something, get this CD or whatever. So I appreciate that. And then I think it's cool whenever you go back through your I'm just blanking on what it's called, but like the year-end stuff, like on Spotify. I think Apple Music does that too.
Sure.
And so I think almost it's looking back on the year. So yeah, I just love diving in and getting to play some Gable Price and Friends, Colony House, Last Bison, just kind of, I guess.
It's kind of fun too, starting a new year, and it's like a blank slate. Like, who knows what's going to happen this year?
Yeah.
What we're going to get exposed to this year. And I love that. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
And I'll probably listen to something this year that will deeply affect me, like so many albums have in the past, and I'm ready.
Isn't that so amazing? Because like this past year, I think about like some of like my favorite songs and CDs that came out. I didn't even know these artists existed in January. Like I hadn't even heard the name. So so to me, it's just cool that like sometimes it feels as though like there is no good music, or that you've listened to everything, and it's cool just getting to discover that stuff. You know, or even on this podcast, it's been cool, like today's album, to go back through and listen to something that, you know, maybe I didn't listen to as much when I was younger, but now I get to go back through and maybe appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, something that I've been listening to is there was a band back in the early 2000s that I was in my band. We were traveling and we ran into them and played a show with them. But also they were just really good. And so we started trying to find anything that we could find by them. And it was a band called Noise Ratchet. And they recently got back together to play at the 2024 Furnace Fest, which I was able to go to and able to see them live, and got to chat with them a little bit afterwards. But they just put out a couple of months ago a new record called Freedom, which they haven't done anything in so long. And when I was talking to them at Furnace Fest, they were just like, yeah, this we had no idea that this was ever going to happen. But it's just kind of cool to see, not only did they get together for a show, but they also ended up making a new record. And it's fun to see life come back for some of these artists. And so That record's been a fun one for me to listen to.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's transition and we'll start talking about our record for today. Well, today is a fun opportunity for us because once again, we have our friend David Zach from the band Remedy Drive, who is here with us to talk about a record that he brought to us. So, David, it's great to have you with us again today, man. We're thankful for you spending some time with us.
Yeah, and this is a fun way to spend some time, actually. So I'm excited about this.
So Brandon asked you to pick out an album that you'd like to talk about. What album are you bringing to us today?
Hello Hurricane by the band Switchfoot.
Man, it's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love this. It'll be a fun thing to talk through. So I pulled some information, just a quick bio. So I'll read this and then we'll kind of get into our thoughts. So Hello Hurricane is the 7th studio album by American alternative rock band Switchfoot, released on November 10th, 2009. So it was co-produced by the band and Mike Elizondo after initially self-producing their work, as well as running some test runs with producers like Charlie Peacock. The album was recorded mainly in the band's Spot X studio that they built to record this record in their own hometown of San Diego. It was originally to be released on October 6, 2009, but pushed back to November 10th on their brand new independent record label, the Atlantic distributed Lowercase People Records. And on February 13th, 2011, the album won the award for Best Rock Gospel Album at the 53rd Grammy Awards. So one of the things that I just thought was interesting about that in the background of this is they spent a lot of energy like putting this record together, and it's almost like they recorded an album and were like, that's not quite it. Let's try this again or redo this in a different space or with a different producer. And it seems like they kind of walked through that a few times before they kind of felt like, this is it. This is the one that we want to get out there. I'd be super interested in hearing some of those others.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Like hearing why it wasn't what they wanted, or why they'd want another shot at a song, or how many of those songs were redone. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, I think this is a big record for them, and it kind of moves them in a different kind of direction. We can talk about that a little bit as we get into it, but just kind of some opening thoughts for us as we start the conversation. Maybe just with Switchfoot in general, like how did Switchfoot come to be a part of our lives and bands that we listen to? Brandon, for you, where did Switchfoot kind of enter in?
I remember I loved Meant to Live. So it was on the radio constantly.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, man, I was like, this is funny because like this could almost be like a Christian song. That's what it kind of sounds like. And then later on realizing, oh, they were, because I guess at the time it was just, I wasn't used to like hearing like quote unquote like Christian bands on like our regular radio.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of my first taste into Switchfoot was that. And I remember like I loved all of their like rock songs, but then whenever these like quieter or these ballads, I would always like, it's a skip track. So I remember growing up just not fully appreciating Switchfoot. So I was pretty excited to get to listen to this album and give it a second chance and actually get to go through it now that I feel like I've matured a little bit in my music taste.
Yeah, that's fun. David, for you, when did Switchfoot become a thing for you? Like, when did you first hear them?
We were already touring a lot, so I heard their name a lot because they were playing a lot of college campuses, and so it was the Meant to Live album.
Mm-hmm.
The Beautiful Letdown was the first. So those three big songs on there are the first that I really listened to. And for me, it was the first time that a 2000s era band, it had a Radiohead vibe, but then it also had like a little more of a rock, but just enough, maybe almost a little too much. Like for my taste of how far I wanted to go on the rock side, it was more polished rock than Radiohead, but still accessible to me. And I just love the way phrase stuff. He just said things differently, both the way his vocal texture, but also the way he um, picked words. So it kind of caught my attention.
Yeah, I love that. That Radiohead comparison. I remember thinking that the first time that I
Yeah.
listened to The Beautiful Letdown, as I was like, they're doing like some things sonically that they haven't done before. So Switchfoot entered in for me a little earlier, I think, than for you guys. I don't remember where, honestly, but I heard the track off their first album, The Legend of Chin, Kim 6A, somewhere on a sampler, I'm sure, that I got because I was always just like soaking up these like Christian rock samplers. And I think I heard Kim 6A and I'm like, what in the world is this? Like, this is so good. And then I bought into the next record as well, New Way to Be Human, and then Learning to Breathe, their third record before The Beautiful Letdown came out. I remember vividly like apparently like Switchfoot got turned down by like a lot of record labels when they first came onto the scene and they were trying to get a record deal. And one of my favorite marketing things ever from a band was that by the time Learning to Breathe came out, which is an album that I desperately love, on the like they used to put stickers on the front of like the cellophane for a record, and there were all these stickers, and all that it had was all these record label executives that had not signed them early on saying how stupid they were and that they wish they would have signed this band. And that was like the marketing for that record, was all these executives saying, I can't believe we missed out on releasing records like this. And so I thought it was like Tooth and Nail. It was like Steve Taylor. It was great. I just thought that was a lot of fun. So, all right, well, let's talk a little bit. Fun. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Hello Hurricane itself. And so we'll kind of walk through this track by track and kind of give our thoughts. So if at home you want to, you can pull up the record and kind of listen to it along with us as we're talking through things. But the first track on Hello Hurricane is the song Needle and Haystack Life. What do you guys think about this as an opener?
So for me, I enjoyed it. David, I always talk about how I feel like I see a lot of albums almost like a concert. Like if I was hearing this album from start to finish, how would I feel about it? And and I like it because I think it's a nice build up. Like to me, if you would have started with like A Mess of Me or something, I think it doesn't fit the album. But I think that this song does a good job of kind of setting up what you're gonna get out of the album. So I enjoyed it as an opener.
Yeah, David, what you think?
They played it front to back too, didn't they?
I think they did, yeah.
On that tour, they played it front to back, and then they came back out and played other Switchfoot songs.
Oh, that's really cool.
And so I agree that it sets the tone because it's a new tone for them. I think, if I'm right, it comes after 3 really polished big label albums.
Yeah.
Is that right? So it's stripped back a little bit. It's a little more raw or organic in sounds, you know, the acoustic instruments being really up front in the mix throughout the album, but on Needle in particular. And John's singing is less it's a little less hard rock and a lot more indie rock sounding.
Yeah. I kind of was thinking through the same things too. Like, I feel like there's more air to breathe on this record than some of the ones before it. And I'm a sucker for that. I love anything that feels more like I'm in the room with a band. And there's a lot of that on here, which I really like. But I think it's a great song, super, super driving. I immediately, like, listening to it again for this, I went and added it to my running playlist just because it's got such a good steady beat. And I'm like, man, I can just keep going to this one. So yeah, I think it's a great track.
That high note is something else that the first note of the chorus, like that's up there.
John's an incredible singer.
I like that. David, how'd you feel about Mess of Me?
Mess of Me is, for me as a guitar player, was a game changer, big time. Like the tone of that guitar riff and then just is the first time where John can just be like so he was different. It was more it really felt like the blues lived
Yeah.
in a way in John that was maybe suppressed by the overproduction of the previous 3 or 4 albums.
Yeah, it was fun because yeah, you're exactly right. The guitar work, you're moving more away from these like heavy, deep riffs into kind of some more classic guitar work that's happening with some of these lines. You've still got riffs, which is like a Switchfoot thing, but the riffs are different on this record than they were on the ones like leading up to it.
Like in a way where it's like, okay, yeah, you could see a Switchfoot Creed co-headlining thing from the Meant to Live days, but not Hello Hurricane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without demeaning Switchfoot to the Creed level. That's what I'm saying. Like, but they wouldn't get along as good with this album, and in a great way.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's already on my running playlist, and so it was already there. I have a lot of Switchfoot on there. And I think this is just such a great song. I love the breaks in it where just the vocals stand out like in a really strong way. And like even the bridge later when he's like singing "There Ain't No Shine." Yeah, and like it's like his vocals and the guitar are like doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I think is really cool. And the message of the song I think is really good too. And so this is one of my favorite tracks on the record.
I put down, I don't know if it's a popular or unpopular opinion, but I was like, is this one of the Mount Rushmore like Switchfoot songs if you were choosing those like 4? For me, like I love the guitar. I love like the breaks too. I just remember like when it first came out loving the breaks, and this is a song that like it's a song that like you're almost afraid to go back and listen to because you're like, you know, there's some stuff you go back and you think, oh, this was not as good as I thought. But I feel like I love this song as much as I loved it like the first time I heard it.
Yeah, that's good. So track 3, go ahead.
Oh, with the guitar tones, like it would be easy to have the Meant to Live guitar tone on the Mess of Me riff. It'd be expected to be easy, and maybe part of what answers our earlier question is they needed to spend some time to find a tone that's new and different and represents this chapter for them better and fits with such an acoustic heavy album.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
I love that. I think it's great. So track 3 kind of moves in that other direction. Your Love is a Song. We'll get to our thought. One of the things that I thought was really interesting is like, this is the third in a trilogy of songs about God's love. That there was a Switchfoot song, Let Your Love Be Strong. And then he released, and part of his solo work, the song, Your Love Is Strong. And then here you have Your Love Is a Song. And so I just thought it was kind of a cool thing that carries through his work. What did you guys think about this one?
I feel like John's vocals are so unique. So I love a song where they just really get to like shine and you get to see how it's just so different, or at least from me, from what like I've heard. I remember just thinking like this song's just like beautiful. Like that's the way like I described it. I really loved it.
Similar to the opening track, the high note of the first note of the chorus is just soaring. And then even though some of the lyric for John at my first take was like, this seems maybe on first listen, I was like, well, this seems like lyric I've heard before.
Yeah.
But then when you dive into it, it's like, no, this is uniquely Switchfoot's way of saying these really important things.
Yeah. I love that. I think it's a good track, a really good track for sure. It's one of the like more popular songs on this record, just looking at like listeners, how many listeners that they've had. I think if I had to pick from the trilogy of songs, like my heart probably goes to Your Love Is Strong off of his solo stuff. I just really, really love that. But this is a great one. So
We move into the sound next. David, was it sounding good for you?
Yeah, this one was Mess of Me was great, but this one that dun, 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 it was totally new. Like it was totally
yeah.
new. And then for me, this hit me with bringing in John M. Perkins, which is such a great and subtle way to introduce a large number of people to such an important and influential figure in the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
I got to meet him with my kids actually, and I wouldn't have gone and found him had I not been such a fan of this song and the music video that goes with this song.
Yeah, I love that. It's so I grew up in Mississippi, and so I grew up in
Oh, wow.
John and Perkins' like backyard, not literally, but almost. And so just the like weight of his work. I remember reading his book Let Justice Roll Down, which I really recommend. It's a wonderful book. But I agree with you, like it. And I think when this album came out, Switchfoot like did a concert like in his like backyard or something in Jackson, Mississippi, which is wild. I was already gone at that point, but I just, man, yeah, this is a great one. It's a lot of fun, and I love, like you said, David, just the light that it brings to a man who spent his life laboring for things that like really matter. Just to be able to expose that, I think is awesome.
Yeah, I what stood out to me was the guitars that like David had mentioned, the dun 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 dun. And I, as a kid, that I loved like getting a CD, opening it up, and just following along with the booklet as the song goes. So like I love a song where it goes a step further, and now there's like an individual or there's something that they reference that now it's like, all right, let me pause this and go research. So like I love any song that lets me pause. I mean, like Me Without You released an album, I feel like I would spend like a couple of days on each song just trying to pour through every little reference that was thrown in there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like I love getting to dive in and get introduced to not only like a great song, but also you get to learn about like this individual or this situation or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I'm thankful.
My favorite memory of seeing it live was the summer 2019, which for a lot of us in our memory, 2020 overshadows 2019 when it comes to racial tension in our country. But 2019 was there, right up there, almost this. He said, "Let justice roll out," and they stopped on the bridge and just said, "Let justice roll," again and again and again in that particular performance in Michigan. And it was, for me, that's where that song lives in my memory.
Yeah, that's great. So track 5 on the record is Enough to Let Me Go. So as somebody that like incorporated really early Switchfoot into their listening and shaped a lot for me musically, I feel like I felt like this song like harkens back to like really like pre Beautiful Letdown Switchfoot in some fun ways. It's got kind of a little quirky like guitar thing at the beginning. There's some cool like melody shifting that's like happening. It's like chill Switchfoot, but like it's uniquely Switchfoot. Like nobody else writes a chiller song like this. And plus I think the bridge is just incredible. So I really, really like this one.
How about you, David?
I was just trying to imagine, because here I have a confession to make. I never really went back into those early days, and when I did, I didn't get it. To be honest with you, other than the Walk to Remember era, and so some of those songs I don't have that emotional connection to them because I didn't experience them as they're happening.
Right.
But for me, yeah, this one was a nice. Yeah, we needed it after John M. Perkins. We need it after the sound. We need to come down a little bit
Yeah.
Mhm.
and to be tender again.
Yeah, and he did like talk about high notes. Like he's singing a lot in his falsetto on this song, but it works really well. His just the smooth kind of transitions from his natural voice to his falsetto. Like John's just such a good, unique singer.
I think like lyrically I loved it, but I guess like younger Brandon that just wants like the fast food. Like I don't want to sit down and enjoy a home. I want like no, let's keep this rolling. Let's get back with the like rock, the guitars, the rock, blah blah blah. So I think like musically, like I didn't like love it as much as the previous ones, but I feel like lyrically it was just as strong as the other ones before it.
Yeah, it's all right, guys. We'll get you exposed to some of this earlier Switchfoot stuff. You'll get to experience the gold that's there. It's different, but it's nobody was doing what they were doing, and so it's great. It's great.
All right, so next up we move into Free. Joel, how'd you feel about Free?
Yeah, Free is. It's probably not one of my favorite tracks on the record. You've got the Switchfoot riff thing going. I like the verse melody a lot, and I do like the like inside the shell is a prison cell, like that part of it. But I kind of just wanted the like anthematic chorus, but it's more of like a kind of like chill, thoughtful, like free. Da-na-na. I don't know. It just, yeah, it's not my favorite one, but it's good.
How about you, David?
Yeah, it's not my favorite one either. But artistically it rounds the album out. It has more like it's a different instrumentation.
Yeah.
It feels like it blends. It feels like it needs to exist in the album because it takes the sound and Mess of Me, and it has this nice rawness mixed in with the acoustic vibes mixed in with the kind of. I wonder if they brought in. It feels like they have some Delta, Mississippi Delta overall on some of these riffs in the whole album. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
I wonder if the John M. Perkins piece, it's a nod to some of the blues guys. I never even made that connection till right now, but I feel like that riff feels kind of like we connected on the last episode about Soul Glow Activator and Solomon. Like they had the Dirty South, that vibe, like the Mississippi Delta that I don't know. I didn't love the song as much, but I think it's needed.
Yeah, I hear that.
I think that I felt like a flip. I guess like with the other one, like the slowdown, I enjoyed that it picked back up a little bit. So I think for me, like I'll flip the tracks and be like, this was one that I enjoyed, like the pickup one on. So next up, we move into Hello Hurricane. David, what were your thoughts on the title track?
It's crazy that because you're coming out of the tension of the song before it, and yet you feel before. I mean, it's Hello Hurricane, but you feel like it feels like the calm after a storm in some ways. You know what I mean? When it starts, it feels so warm and like inviting and like relieving. And I want, like, that's how I feel with the instrumentation right away. But then what an amazing thing. You can't silence my love. Like Hello Hurricane, you're not enough. You can't silence my love. And yeah, of course they were thinking Louisiana. Like that's, you know, that was right after Katrina that they're writing this.
Yeah, I think for me, there's not a single thing about this track that I don't love. This is, talk about Mount Rushmore songs. Like this one's probably up there for me, for them. Everything about it, the guitar work at the beginning, like it feels different. It's riffy, but it's different riffy than anything they've done before sonically. And so I just love that. The chorus is great. I love that this is a thing they do, not just on this album, but they do it a few times on this album where the vocal melody on the second verse is different from the vocal melody on the first verse. And bands tend to like use different words, but the same vocal melody. And John will just change the vocal melody on the second verse. And it's like so effective because you have the same structure underneath it. but he's doing something completely different, and I love that. And the bridge is great. I just think, man, this is a great song.
I really like whenever you guys go first, because I feel like a track like this, like I loved it, but I don't know how to explain it. So then I can just like copy and paste and be like, you know what? I agree with what was just said. It's a great track.
That's a great point, though, that you made on a different melody on the second verse and the first verse. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, and they do it also on I think on Needle and Haystack Life. There's another song or two on this record that happens on. He does it on it and Enough to Let Me Go too. And so it's a fun thing that not a lot of artists do that. Bono is an example of someone who does that. But not a lot of artists do it. And I think like you want your vocal melodies to be really good. And so you like land on something and you're like, yep, we're going to do this. This is great. But to be able to pull that off twice in two different ways, I think is great. And I love that John does that. I think it makes him stand out. All right. What about track number 8, Always? Brandon, what were your thoughts on this one?
I think I like the like bells that are on the bridge part, but I think this was the first track that I just found myself not really caring for. Like up until this point, I like pretty much liked every track, but yeah, I think this was the first one that just didn't. I'm not sure why it just didn't really like click for me.
Wow.
Yeah, David, you need to set him straight.
So, like for me, it's weird hearing that they got nominated for a gospel Grammy on this song, or won the gospel Grammy, right?
Gospel rock, gospel rock album.
Whereas this one feels on the album. This feels like it's straightforward, even though it feels like it could be to his wife or from the perspective of his daughter to John. Like this feels like the most religious song of the group in that sense. But it's moving, like, and it repeats. I liked it. It's not going to be one that I turn to right away either, but I liked it.
Yeah, I don't. So when I was thinking, all right, we're going to cover Hello Hurricane, Always is not a song that I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait to talk about that song. But when I was listening to it, I loved everything about it. I loved the piano. It's so good, and that's such a different like texture for them that you rarely like get to hear them use. And so I thought that was cool. You've got this reverse guitar thing going into verse 2, and the bridge is just unbelievable. And so I came out of it thinking, man, this is one of my favorite tracks on the record. And so I'm sorry, Brandon, this is just one of those places where we're going to disagree. But maybe, I don't know, maybe you just need to spend some more time with it.
I think so. It does make me sad how many times I feel like I'm the one that's on the side being like, I didn't really care for this one. Then it turns into, this song changed my life.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I do think it's a really good one. So
next up, we move over to Bullet Soul. What were your thoughts on that, David?
Bullet Soul is not. It feels to me as we get deeper into the album that it's a little less cohesive as an album. And Bullet Soul, I like how he yells. Are we ready to like it? It feels like the rest of the album, but then I like some of the I don't know how to describe the guitars. They're thin and crunchy, like crispy. And I like that stuff. It's creative and stuff. But I don't think the album needed it necessarily. But it's a cool song.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like that you mentioned the guitars being thin and crunchy because that's like an early Switchfoot sound. That I feel like they were bringing back into play here. Like I remember hearing about I'm not going to remember the name of the song now, but there was one song on Learning to Breathe that they kept recording the guitars for, and they couldn't get a sound that they liked, and then they ended up just keeping the scratch guitars that they used when they were recording the vocals because they were that like kind of thin sound, and I kind of felt that here too with Bullet Soul, but at the same time, I actually think this is a really good song. And this one thing that I noticed as I was listening to this record is that I think for like a lot of bands, I would say Bullet Soul is probably like a 4 or a 5 as a song. But for Switchfoot, it's just not. It's not there because the level of everything that they produce is like so high.
Yeah.
That like it just doesn't stand out amidst everything else they do, even though maybe for another band this would be like a highlight. So
I think that is interesting because like I think, going back to Meant to Live being the first Switchfoot one I listened to, I feel like I don't know if that song's the best represent. I mean, maybe some people would say, but I think that sometimes I think that it almost sets you up not to enjoy, like like the track Always. I think maybe that's my takeaway would have been like, oh, it's kind of just this like going back and forth instead of enjoying like the heart of it. So I think you bring up a good point about how, like it's a great song, but like, as far as like a Switchfoot song, I know for me, like I feel like it's a song that gets you like pumped up and ready to go. Like I remember listening to this in the car and I was like, man, this is one of the songs you could put in any commercial. Like it could be about like body wash, it could be about a Subaru, whatever. And
I definitely could hear it in a car commercial. Yeah.
And so yeah, I appreciated that. I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And I love the scream too. I love whenever John screams in something or yells or whatever.
I think you're right, and that I could hear Bullet Soul in a car commercial, whereas Always I feel like would be in a movie soundtrack when somebody's like about to die or something. And so that's interesting. All right, track number 10, Yet. What do you guys think about Yet?
I think I enjoyed it. I described it as like a stripped down track. Like I enjoyed that, and I think that you get to appreciate a lot of the like little things about Switchfoot when you don't have all of the like bigger stuff going on. That was kind of my take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's still like these last several are artistic and important, but don't feel like the meat of the album. And as when I put an album together, sometimes I try not to front load it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And I feel like this yet it's not as memorable for me.
Yeah.
But
I think I fall in the same category. I probably wouldn't think of as highly of it as I do, even at not a super high level, if it wasn't for like that line and the idea of if it doesn't break your heart, it isn't love. That's like a classic John Foreman line that I just think there's so much there, and it's just a really beautiful line. That's the highlight of the track for me, is that.
I'm with you on that. And I remember my brother posted it on his Facebook, was what we had in those days, and it should have been a tweet, but my brother posted that line, and then somebody was giving him grief, like, what does that mean? Like, I was like, okay, that's great. That's what a good quote should do.
Absolutely,
is create some discomfort for people, and it's a cool, uncomfortable line.
Yeah, I love it.
Next we move into Sing It Out. David, what were your thoughts on it?
This one, man, I mean, it's such a bold and different move for them. Like I don't know how they're getting that effect, and so it stayed so dark and tense for so long. You know what I mean? Which it just feels like the Psalms.
Yeah,
it feels like what's best of the Psalms the whole way through it.
Yeah, I love the production on this one because it is so different, such a different feel.
Yeah.
Like if I had to pick a song that I feel like on this back section of the record that's like a highlight for me, I think it would be this one.
I agree.
Just like the drawn out nature of it, that there's just he's painting a picture, not just in the words, but even in the way he's communicating it musically and giving us the lyrics, that there's like an aching and a waiting and a yearning. And I just love that. I think it's so different. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy that you have this like build up, you have this like journey you're going on. And I appreciate it. It also felt like just there was, I guess like to David's point, it felt like you had some of these like longer songs like at the end. So like at the beginning you had the mess of me's, like the sound and all. So it's like, it makes me wonder if how does the album sound? Maybe if you would have thrown maybe one more of those like in the back to kind of shake it up a little bit. I just kind of found myself at the end being like, oh, I feel like a lot of these older songs are like, or the last songs are like 4 or 5 minute songs or whatever. So, which I guess that brings us to our last song, Red Eyes. Joel, what were you thinking about Red Eyes?
Yeah, I thought this was an interesting end to the record. I like the bells. I think there's a banjo in there somewhere, which who would have ever thought that? But I think my favorite thing about this one is at the very end, like the slight melodic and lyrical callbacks to the first song, Needle and Haystack Life, that you get, just kind of tying the record together and making it feel like a circle that you're in. It's not like it's something that ends, but something that just keeps going. And that's like a really subtle thing. But I really like that, because as I was hearing that at the end, it made me want to go back to the beginning and start over, which I think is a cool touch.
Yeah. What about you, David?
I mean, that's exactly what I would say. It's a bookend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it pulls in all the, but even in thinking of hearing the instrumentation in my mind, and it was a different style of, it was like not folksy, I don't know the right, but there was Americana to it.
Yeah.
And a muted might be the word, sorry, my son's trying repeat calling me over and over again. I'm sorry. He did it 3 times.
You're good, man.
Sorry for all the editing you're gonna have to do.
No, you're fine.
There's a mutedness to it that finds its way. I don't know how to describe it to a non-musician. Like it's when you're dampening the strings with your thumb or with your skin to make it so it's not so brittle and bright. There's a nice, it seems like there's a nice texture to it that it rounds the album out well.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that, yeah, I feel like it's like I said earlier, if you look at an album as that was at a concert, I feel like it's a great way that after you've had these just everything else mixed together, I think it like lands the plane really well. Is that you feel like it ties it a little bit, makes it a little more cohesive. So yeah.
That's good. Well, let's just quickly kind of wrap it up and talk through kind of our overall ratings for the record. And so I don't mind going first real quick. And so for me, like, it was fun for me to go back. I haven't listened to this record from start to finish in quite a while. And so I really enjoyed getting to do that and remembering, man, I really love this album. And I do think that it's one of the best records that Switchfoot has released. And so for me, I think I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It's really up there, really up there for me.
What about you, David?
I would say 4.2.
Love it.
And that's for me. You want, like, it is way up there. Like my 5s are going to be Joshua Tree, Weezer's Blue Album,
Amen,
Killer
amen.
Sam's Town.
You're speaking all my languages right now. I love it.
So when it's in there, like a 4.2 doesn't seem like it's a high praise. 4.2 is high praise.
Yeah.
So.
I love that.
Yeah, I think I'll split the middle and do a 4.1 then. Yeah, I like I said, I went into it. I was like, man, I hope that I have matured enough to appreciate this, because I'm like, it's gonna be awkward if it's the first episode we did was with my wife, and the album we did, I gave it a 2.5 because I was like, I love half of this, but the other half I don't care for at all. So it was really awkward to set the tone. So, but this one.
Yeah, so this is, I think, our most cohesive rating for a record ever. 4 and a 4.1 and a 4.2. And I think this just
Yeah.
speaks a little bit to who Switchfoot is, that that they bring people together. They're
Yeah.
uniting us all around things that are important and things that matter. And so, yeah, I love that we're kind of all on the same page with this one. It's a great record. It's been a lot of fun to get to dig into and talk to. So, David, we're especially thankful that you took some more time out to chat with us through this today. And man, we just appreciate you and appreciate everything that you guys are doing. And so anything that you kind of want to say again about how people can connect with you and what you guys are doing real quick before you take off?
Yeah, for fans of especially like this album, I think people would like Remedy Drive, my band's album Resuscitate, and Hope's Not Giving Up, the indie album Hope's Not Giving Up. Because Switchfoot is one of my top 5 influences for sure. And which is, so for me, this conversation has been a lot of fun, because going back through, I I'm with my family today, and this album reminded me of my family at different points in our when the kids were little. Like, so that was fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thinking about it today in that context. RemedyDrive.com is our where you can find out about our band. And if you go to the end there /Daylight United, you can see about the work that we're doing combating human trafficking.
Yeah. And if you didn't get a chance to check out the first time that we had David on, we were able to talk all about that and everything that they're engaged in. And so we encourage you to go back and check that out so that you can find out how you can plug in and be involved in what they're doing around the world through that. So David, again, thanks, man. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's been a joy.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, well, before we finish today, let's take some time and look at our lyric of the week.
It's time for the lyric of the It's time.
So the lyric of the week this week comes from this album, Hello Hurricane by Switchfoot. One of my favorite lyrics from the record. They lock our souls in cages. We hide inside our shells. It's hard to free the ones you love when you can't forgive yourself. Yeah, I don't know. Just as I was listening to that again through, it made me just remember that we have to kind of work through ourselves and our own stuff, and sometimes before we can step out and love somebody else the way that we need to. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was a fun thing for this week. So we're really thankful that you've joined us as we've been able to talk through this record, Hello Hurricane. It was fun to spend some time with David and get to hear his thoughts on this as well. You can find us online on Facebook. Hey, are you listening? We are on X as well. But of course, we would love it if you would subscribe to the podcast, if you want to leave us a review. We're just so thankful for everybody that's been taking the time to listen to these episodes each week. And we just hope and pray that you'll continue to join us for the journey ahead. So thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you back next week.
Hey, are you listening?